pick this dude up like this collar,
Slams him.
turn him upside down. This fool's legs are up here, his head is here, bottle service table here, and I just
He knows. Bruno knows what you tryna find out. 3, 2, 1, Bruno knows starts now.
Welcome to another episode of Brew Knows. Hey. Today's a good one. I got some of my best friends in the world. I've been friends with these boys for about 12 years. We're getting the band back together. If you guys knew us before, they call us the Brown Boys, right? And for a little bit of time, we've been disconnected, and we're going on tour. So the Brown Boys are back. To my left here, I got Jacob Myers. Jacob's a real estate agent here in Denver. We've probably been friends maybe the longest. I'm not sure. But about 12 years. And it was right around the same time. That's when I met Nico too. So about 12 years as well. Nico DeGaio, that's my guy. Nico Robe is a mortgage lender here in Denver, providing the financing to the home that Jacob's going to sell you. So welcome, boys.
It's actually pronounced Nico Roby, but
Bro.
you know, you've known me for 12 years, so
let
it slide.
My bad, bro.
Let's talk about that Instagram name, Nico DeGaio.
Nico DeGaio.
How'd you come up with that?
You know, I remember vividly, we were actually just driving down I-25, and we were just talking about how Instagram...
Was I in there? Was I in the whip? Because I remember we were all changing our names for a while.
Yeah. And I remember
That's why
we were
you
just
still
trying
call
to
me a
find one
Luna.
That was going to catch, because it used to be Nico RoboCop.
Bro, fuck this chair. I'm just trying to get
Just
my water.
fumbling over there, bro.
Yeah, so his at name used to be Nico RoboCop. I still have your number saved in my phone as Nico RoboCop.
Yep.
And we were deciding what names to change because we were all changing names. What, bro? Mine was I Succeed Too Much at the time. And then I was trying to change it to something else. And I changed it to like Bruno for Prez. But I changed it to El Uno Bruno. I thought that was clever. And it just looked like a Luna. So you still call me a Luna all the time. And people are like, what the fuck? And you had some crazy ones too.
It was Jacobo El Cholo. Because Jacobo is my name.
Dude, Nate picked that. I remember. He was like, yo, you should go by. Yes, because he was like, you don't remember that?
No.
Oh, it was, bro, this was all around the same time.
Yeah.
And we were just throwing out like crazy names. And I think we were trying to go for the Brown Boys vibe because you were like Jacobo El Cholo. His was
Nico
DeGaio, which is fire. El Uno Bruno, yeah, bro.
Those are the days. Those are the days.
Yeah, bro. We've been friends a long time.
Gotta throw it back.
Okay, so let's tell some stories. So I'm trying to think of how we all met, right? And so with Nico, this was back in the Twitter days. And again, at name, I Succeed Too Much. I just thought that was so fire of an at name. And, you know, when Twitter was coming about and we're all in high school, motherfuckers were trigger happy. You know what I'm saying, bro? And, you know, I know I could always beat people up even when I was little, but me and Nico were both like little guys talking shit on Twitter to random people that would just piss us off. And have you even been on Twitter? Do you guys still use it?
I mean, I probably check my Twitter probably about like once or twice a month. Just to
Really?
catch up. I get like little updates still, but I don't really like go on.
Bro, we built a following. We had a following on there. And I logged into my Twitter and I tried to delete the tweets because I'm like, I was saying some wild shit.
Yeah,
I can't have this represent me. And the last couple tweets were like 10 years ago.
Yeah. But it's
And then I tried to delete it. It wouldn't delete. It deleted the worst. It deleted all the best parts because I started being conscious of what I was saying. And like, but when it deleted, it only like went back like 2 years. So there was like a stacked fucking tweet set of me saying the wildest shit. And so...
Just not even thinking before you post.
Bro, the wildest shit. Like, you know the shit I say in person times two, probably.
Like your bio that one time.
Yeah,
You were dating that girl.
Wait. But anyways, though,
Yeah.
just to wrap up that story, I fucking just change the handle, the name, and like so it can't be tied back to me because, bro, I changed everything about it. I'm like, it's a random ass name because I just couldn't get it deleted because I could use the platform because I'm like Twitter would be kind of fun, but you know, I was just like, this is risky business. Talk about getting canceled, bro. Back then, you could just say more shit, you know?
I mean, it was just like at that time where, you know, you give kids a platform where you can just speak freely.
Yeah, dude.
You know, you're not even thinking that, you know, later down the
fucking
road,
kids,
right?
kids, a
Kids,
platform.
Literally.
You were never big on Twitter.
No, I never had one.
Yeah.
Never.
So-
Still to this day.
Yeah.
He's just low key. In the shadows.
Because Twitter is tweeting what you think, bro. So for you to just be like,
It's just be blank. Just playing.
I had a. Where's the
But honestly,
cheese?
I never really
There's
had social media
Yeah.
until
You
I
met
met
me.
Nate. No, I met Nate.
Oh.
I was in the barber chair just
Yeah.
getting a haircut, and then he
Yeah.
makes me an Instagram. So
Oh,
as I'm getting
shit.
cut, like he's in the background just taking a picture
Yes.
and just.
You
uploads
remember
the
when
photo.
I got that camera and we would all just go take pictures?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we all try to be models.
Yeah,
freelance.
bro.
Hey,
that
that was-
graffiti wall over there. Let's take a picture in front.
Yeah, us three. Two of us were trying to be. One of us was. It's all
Yeah.
good, you know. Just kidding. But yo, yeah, bro. We were just like driving around Denver with the camera, and again, also kind of inspired by Nate, bro. One of his like earlier pictures that he took of me was like in his fucking. We were there. Remember, I was wearing that like black polo. It's the picture we have like this. We're in the stairwell.
Oh yeah. That was at the Regency.
Yes, and he took a picture of me in his bathtub, like
Every time
shirtless,
it was
just
like the
flexing.
freshest picture ever because we never had like a true professional
Well,
picture.
but back then it was the freshest picture
Yeah.
ever, bro. It really.
Because the boy was in it.
No, not that one, bro. The one of me flexing like this, bro. Look it up.
Isn't that the one where I had a leather jacket on? I'm going
Yes,
like this.
that same day though,
Yeah.
but he took one of me in his bathtub, except like because it was just a white background, and I'm just like flexing like this. We took a ton of pictures that day,
Yeah.
and I said something like,
We were honestly
World Tag Team
Nate
Champions."
should be thanking us because we're the ones
Whoa.
that helped him get better.
Well,
Just
it's
kidding,
a
I'm
mutual.
kidding.
No, but
Yeah,
it's
I'm
mutual
kidding.
though. Like,
But he did
also
start with us.
Well, I wouldn't say he started with us. I would say like, you know, he was gonna do whatever he was gonna do, but we were never telling him like
How to edit.
like no. Like we were friends supporting his vision. Like
While he's
when he was
dabbling in
like,
experience.
"Oh, let me pack my shit and move to LA," I was like, "Yeah, do that shit, bro." I don't know. Like I knew that he would always figure it out no matter what, because he could have been good at anything. He could have been a top real estate agent. He could have
Yeah.
been a top. Like the dude's smart as fuck, you
Just
know.
to go get her.
Maybe
Yeah.
he stayed in Denver, right?
Yeah,
Like,
but yes, I was abusing the free picks back then. I was just like, yo, Nick, come on, let me get a pick. And the guy still owes me a pick, wedding present. You told me, you motherfucker. Okay. But yeah, anyways, we've been friends a long time. The way Jacob and I met, it's actually like funny how we became best friends and now we're all best friends. So I was like, can I tell it? Do you want to tell it?
I mean, I'm curious to see how you're gonna tell it.
Can we just do parts?
Well,
I'll do a
but
part.
at first.
Okay, this is how we'll do it.
But at
I'm gonna
first,
tell my side. Okay, I'm gonna tell my side of a piece of it, and then you tell your side, and then you start the next piece, and I'll tell you my side. Okay.
all right,
All right.
deal.
Okay, but you start.
Well, I thought.
Oh, let me
if I'm
preface.
not
I'll preface.
But
Right.
if I'm not mistaken, it was freshman year on the football team.
No, I think
Yeah.
it was later.
No, it was freshman year. Remember, everybody would pick on you
Yeah.
because
no.
you were 4'10".
Right. Well, let me explain.
110
Let me
pounds.
tell my own back. The chronicles. So
getting dashed.
I was 4'11", you fucking bitch ass. 85 pounds as a
That
freshman.
1 inch makes a difference, huh?
Bro, you better fucking, you ain't 4'11" now. Listen, so I was 4'11", 85 pounds as a freshman, so I was small. I tried to play football, and yeah, people were just picking on me all the time. But Jacob never did. Everybody else did. It was like Scotty, Brandon. There was a lot of people, whatever, right? Life, high school. You get bullied a little bit, right? It's not the end of the world. But anyways, they picked on me because I was small and they were the good athletes, right? But your boy knew all along I was just small. But they treated me kind of like Ryan Schrader. But your boy was fucking athletic as fuck if somebody would have like noticed. Like, yo, let's do this. Like, your boy was fucking fast. But nobody ever was like, they just discounted it. Even coaches, whatever the fuck. Right? So then I went into wrestling and just fell in love with wrestling. And Jacob got in this relationship, right? So Jacob gets in this relationship, disappears. But these kids were like all the cool kids. Like, the coolest. They got all the girls. Your boy, cute as fuck. Have always been cute as fuck. But he was just small. So he wasn't pulling girls, right? So he would try. And then Jacob got in this relationship, yada, yada. And then somehow I start talking to Jacob's ex-girlfriend that I thought was his ex, but it wasn't his ex or something like that, right? And then something happens. And bro, texting me all day. Like, would text me all day. Sorry. But who cares?
Fuck. It's high school.
Yeah, but who cares? I'm 85 pounds. You know what I'm saying? Like, right? So, would text me all day. And then she got, like, sick or some shit. So your boy dropped off some flowers at the crib, bro. He dropped off some flowers.
Get better soon.
And then I'm like in class and I just hear something like, yo, Jacob's about to beat your ass. I'm like, what are you talking about? Oh, you just gave his girl flowers? I'm like, his girl, bro. It's my girl. You know what I'm saying?
Bag with your
No, but like, and at the time, Jacob basically looked like how he looks now, except he was a fucking sophomore.
Right.
And it's just fucking, just as big as he is now. And I'm 85 pounds. So I'm like leaving class. I'm like, oh, fuck. And I see them talking. They're like talking in the corner. And then I was just like worried about the encounter, but I'm like, if I had to get my ass beat, I'll get my ass beat, I guess, because I'm not about to like duck my head and walk away. So the dude comes up to me and did it in like, I think like we understood each other at the time, because at first he was mad and then I was like, bro, I honestly didn't know. And I like was showing him stuff and he's like, oh. And so it was like, I was scared shitless, and then I was like, oh, this dude's actually cool. And this was wrapping up the semester. Then we had a class together.
Oh, yeah. I remember
that history class, which we ended up not going to like 2 weeks in.
You went every time. You were the straight A student.
Yeah, bro. But then I stopped. Senior year, I stopped going. But basically, yeah, bro, I had, your boy was smart. Anyways,
that's how
we started working out. We started working out.
He was like, I need tips on how to get big. I see you walking around, Big Daddy John.
Yeah. but that was also me like just trying to be this dude's friend, because I was like, all right, bro, like,
Right.
And he had turned out to be pretty cool, and we just caught lifts at your like local gym over there, and then we got jacked, bro. Then we all got just fucking huge. Well, actually, you were big. No, I remember how it went. So you were already like bigger, but your boy was like
on the come up,
and I was just like shredded as fuck. Like everybody was talking about your boy being, so it was kind of like mutual. Let's start working out. And then same way with you, bro. Like we were always like catching lifts and stuff back in the 24-hour days.
Literally,
and then that's how we got all introduced.
It's pretty funny because like with this whole ex-girlfriend thing, I knew about Nico, and we would go to.
Wait! Y'all have your own story.
It's kind of a similar story, right? Like we're going to the local rec center, Trails Rec Center, and I would always see him, always there with his girl at the time, and
I would just
I don't know this.
Be looking at each other, kind of like I don't know if there's just too much testosterone in the room, but we would
you didn't like each other.
Just mugging. Always. Yeah.
Well, because going back to Twitter, I just kind of knew that you like.
Oh, and I used to always tell you though, but I used to always tell you that Nico was cool. I'm like, bro, he's not as wild as you think.
Yeah.
Like, well, he's wild, but he's not. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, if you just read our Twitter, you would think we were the wildest people ever. And at the time, we were like turning into wild people. You know? But anyways, you guys just mean mugged each other the whole time?
That was it.
Just that animosity, right? And then, we actually ended up meeting through Bruno, right? And so it's like...
That's where the Brown Boys started, without us even knowing.
So, yo, check this out. So, Nico's younger than us. Jacob's old as fuck. Yeah. And I'm like, I skipped a grade. So, I was the youngest by far in my class, but I'm older than Nico. And so, I remember Jacob was 21. I was 19. You were like, how old are you now?
I'm 26 now.
You're 26?
Yeah.
Okay.
But at that time, I was young.
And I'm 27. So you were like, 18. No, you were 18. Yeah. So I was 19. He was 18. Jacob is 21. So Jacob would go in. Wait. Whoa. Okay. So what would happen? So we're trying to sneak all of us in, right? And then I'm like, Jacob, okay, we look alike. We look alike. And this is how you, if you want to sneak into the club, this is how you do it, right? Whoever's you, so I'm like, Jacob, let me use your ID. And he's like, well, I need my ID. And I'm like, okay, well, do you have something like different? And he would have his passport. And then I'm like, Jacob, people already kind of think we look alike. Plus, there's like prejudgment. People are racist. You know what I'm saying, bro? And I remember I was a bouncer for a little bit at, and I knew, bro, that me or this, like if anybody handed me an ID, I'm just looking at it as long as that shit's sideways. No. Sideways go, right. Bro. They pay me like,
show that they verified it. Yeah.
I don't even give a fuck. Right. They pay me $12, bro. Get the fuck in here. I don't care. Like what, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And they were like, whatever. I'm not even going to name the place. Right. But yeah, I knew that I don't look, and I'm like, bro, these guys don't give a fuck. So if we're going to sneak in, right, if Jacob goes in first, hands them the ID, they see Jacob Myers, and then I hand them something after, they're going to be like, that's not him. I just saw Jacob Myers. I just saw this birthday. But if I go first and I go with the passport, first off, people are racist. Second off, they're not going to take my passport if I really was Jacob.
Right.
And they're not going to know that Jacob's right behind me. So they let me in. And then even if they catch that it's like, well, now they already let me in, you know, like they're not going to go chase me down in the bar to be like, oh, you had a fake. So, but they also can't deny Jacob because that's him.
Jacob, yeah.
Right. So they either got to go chase me down or let it go. And everybody's going to let it go. Who gives a fuck? So what would happen is I would go in with the passport, and then you would go in with your ID, and then somebody would come out or hand it back to Nico, or Nico would come like later. I think Nico would go first with your ID, give it to like Nate or something. Nate would bring it out, and then we all go in the way that we were doing it.
Right.
But we got away with it for like a year.
Wow.
Until you're the one who got it taken away, right? No, you did?
Yeah, I did. It was me.
Oh.
It wasn't me. But what happened that day?
This location, right? Like we're trying to do it. I'm like, all right, you go in. I'm gonna wait probably 2 people back. I have his passport in hand, and
that's why you gotta go.
But
first.
You saw a bouncer that knew who we were, and that's how we caught on immediately.
Right at the time, I didn't know that he knew who we were. So I get up there, hand him the passport, and he just immediately puts it in his pocket. And so,
but you're not allowed to take somebody's passport,
right?
Which pissed me off.
Did you switch it off? That's what I said. Like, give him your ID instead.
I tried. He wouldn't even let me, and he was like standing next to cops and stuff. I'm young. I don't give a shit. I'm like, all right, as long as I don't get caught, let's go.
Damn, you're wild. You just bro, a passport's like the worst thing to ever lose.
I know.
Yeah, that's like your whole identity. You could go make like social security numbers with that shit, like just straight up. It's wild.
But long story short, we got away with that for years. We had a great time. You were 18 years old, clubbing with 40-year-olds.
Well, I was 18, but I was a little older. Okay, but no, I was like 20 around when we started because I didn't even drink till I was 20, and then I went from like not drinking to just like this is the coolest shit ever, and then to back to it's all right. Sometimes everything good in moderation. But what's up, man? What's up with life? How's business doing? If you want to tell the people a little bit about the Denver real estate market, I think.
Yeah, so business is thriving. I mean, right now we're seeing a little bit of a shift. In the last few years, I'm sure the market's been super, super hot. Homes are getting sold anywhere from 10 to 20% over asking price. Bidding wars. Can't even get into a home. It's so super hard if you don't have cash.
And they sell like hotcakes too. It's like A house will be on the market like 2 days and bought.
Less. Sometimes not even on the
even a
market or
showing.
day. Yeah.
Yeah, not even a showing or anything. Just like bet.
Sometimes you just get an offer, like you put it coming soon to the market, like next week. You get an offer right then and there.
Dang.
And it's like, do we need to go on the market? We already have an offer, 100K over. Let's just
Yeah.
take it and run.
That's wild.
But now it's like
slowing down.
shifting. Interest rates are getting higher. I know Nico can speak into that more. But it limits buyers' purchasing power. And so altogether, like houses are just sitting longer, more
Yeah.
negotiations for buyers, more opportunity there. But in a time where a lot of people are freaking out, trying to get out of the business, you're unsure when they're going to make their next check, the boy's thriving.
Yeah,
You know,
dude.
we got the pipeline ready to go. We got homes we're selling. So I'm
That's awesome.
blessed. I'm blessed to
That's
have
awesome.
my amazing clients.
Yeah, dude, and that's so awesome. I think, you know, when COVID hit, everybody was trying to get away from those like restrictions in LA, and it kind of made Denver like a cool hub, right? Where it's like similar. It's not similar to LA, but it's still like bigger city. I mean, people were either going here or like Houston, basically, and just a cool place to be. You know, I think Denver's like really open minded on the forefront of like things like marijuana, which a lot of California people enjoy, you know.
Or just people in general.
Yeah, well, exactly. And I think, but mainly California people too. But I think, you know, it just made it a great place for people to move. But then and for them, you know, it was definitely like cheaper housing than they're used to, you know, $1 million for you know, for like a cardboard box in LA, but it's, you know, in the perfect location. So
But also at
like,
that time, it's like, you know, the driving factor was interest rates.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, when they're loaning you homes at like
2%,
3%, 2%, it was.
That's unheard of. We got his mom into an interest rate of 2.25.
Yeah,
right?
2.25.
Crazy, bro. That's crazy. So basically, you're paying 2.25% to leverage your money into a bigger asset, such as a home, and that shit is gonna grow at a rate of. It was like in Colorado Springs, it was like the market was going up 36% like a month or something like that, or a year.
Year over year.
Yeah, year over year. So like now you're able to leverage with like almost no down payments at the time too, right? So now you're able to leverage like $5,000, get in a $500,000 home, pay 2% interest, have that home grow at 36% a year,
never have to
and then
refinance.
exit, right? Or like you basically can leverage it into, you know, $500,000 and have $500,000 grow at 36%, and you're paying 2% on that money. That is nuts.
Yeah.
That is nuts. So it was just a great market to be in. Are you guys, I'm curious too, because as people see it slow down, right? I mean, even our house, you know, it's like doubled in price since
When it was built.
Jordan had originally bought it, and then Jordan's parents bought it for her.
Was it a new build when they originally bought it?
No, they had one owner, but then I bought it from her dad, and yeah, so I mean, we have hella equity in there, but it had doubled in price, right? So I mean, at the time, and that's kind of when like everybody, at least you, Nico, kind of like joined the industry, right? So it was. My question is, you know, in those markets, it's like impossible not to make money, right? Because everybody was trying to get into a home. When you guys see this from like a career standpoint, what do you feel like, you know, has it affected like the amount of just influx coming in, and what do you have to do to kind of, you know, account for that, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, I think it's just really staying active, but also educating people right now, just because at that time when we did get in, right, like deals were just falling out of the sky because of interest rates being so low.
Yeah.
And then inflation hits, we start seeing interest rates going back up, and everyone's thinking about, you know, let's time the market, let's wait for interest rates to come back down. But, you know, at the same time, it's like, once those interest rates come back down, buyers are going to be rushing the market again.
Right.
So it's like, you know, kind of like choosing your battle, right? Do you want to pay more for the house, or are you just gonna
or do you
kinda
even
with
want to
that
have like a
interest rate for little
long-term
bit?
client, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? Because like sometimes the advice could be like, yeah, don't.
Yeah.
Right. And I like, when I was a financial advisor, I had the same kind of situations where people wanted to like give me like a lot more money that I didn't feel like made sense for them to do. And it's like, I know I'm gonna get paid on that money, you know, but if I were them,
This is what I would do.
yeah, you know, I wouldn't
Different
do
for
it,
everyone,
you know.
yeah.
But even though like on paper it was like sound investment advice, I could get away with saying like, this will get you to this goal, right? But it was just like, okay, well, is this somebody who's going to be a buyer again and again? How many of your clients are like repeat clients?
We got one right now. This will be my 5th transaction with them and their family in the last 2 years.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And what
that was
is-
the first client I ever sold.
What
a
did they
house to.
buy? Just like
Um,
keep upgrading, or
No, they're like selling investment properties,
Yeah.
purchasing secondary homes. Just like right now, we have a deal for it's like $500,000, 2-bed, 2-bath in Inglewood, just a townhome, super nice, updated.
who's this? Do I know him?
No.
You don't need a name drop.
No,
Yeah. How did that come about?
dude? Honestly, just from I had this list back in the day when I first started my career, and I was just cold calling, and then finally this lady answers, and you could barely understand her because her English is not that great.
Yeah.
And I couldn't really understand her at all. I was just like, "Oh, you do want to sell your house, or you do want to buy? Okay, I'll meet you tomorrow. Let me just come by your work." And then
Yeah.
next thing you know, the boy's finally selling his first house.
Yeah. Well, and that's super important too. And I think I told you that a long time ago because I was kind of in the same game of just having to dial people. Essentially, it's front end activity,
Numbers.
and that's, you know, it's just putting up numbers, right? You call a million people, you'll get one person. And I think even like Bill Gates said, I mean, Microsoft was pretty easy to start. I just gave the idea to 1,000 people. One person said yes, and that's Bill Gates, you know?
Right.
So I always believed in front end activity. I mean, there was a day one time I kept 8 meetings and dialed 586 people. And that's because I had like told the people in my group, like my, my like little group that had placed me with like advisors. And I was like, I'm going to do this many dials. And I procrastinated the dials. And on the last day I had to do like 500 dials and try to, just to hit that, what I said I was going to do. But I had 8 meetings. I had a full calendar. So I did it, hit the metric, all this stuff. And I think that's really important. Like a lot of people, when they're thinking of, how do I sell what I do, or how do I sell this product, or how, like in a perfect world, you want to, and that's the part of business that I think I've gotten really good at. In the perfect world, you want to reduce the amount of effort it takes for you to pitch your business, right? Or for you to pitch that business. And, for some people when they're getting started, they have to resort to like just straight up cold calling all day. And again, that's just a data point, right? Like now, I got to cold call 1,000 people before I get my first client. That fucking sucks.
Right.
That's awful. But that, like, if you want to be in this business,
You got to do it.
You got to do
to
it.
get the business off
You
the
got to
ground.
do it.
You gotta set yourself up for
or
the bad.
decide that you like don't want to do it.
Right.
If it's too much work, then you don't get to have a successful real estate business.
But that's the journey, like
Yeah.
Wes says. It's
And then
about-
all of a sudden you start making the money and you could start shortening that and finding different ways and trying new shit. But yeah, bro, sometimes you just got to wake up and dial a fuck ton of people, cold call. And eventually, what are the odds? Like you probably got in with like a immigrant family that at the time probably didn't understand real estate, had a lot of money, had maybe no contacts,
Yeah.
The phone
and
up.
now
just
you've
there
done
to
5
help.
purchases.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's so wild.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you? I mean, for a mortgage lender, right? It's not as much repeat, or is it
No, it's definitely repeat.
like
Right?
refinance and
Yeah,
stuff?
and your past clients are really going to be your best clients, right?
Yeah.
Just because you got them approved, you got them in the house.
Yeah.
But it's also doing a good job for them, but also educating them where and what the market's kind of doing, right? Just
Yeah.
because the media out there is just going to be spreading a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
That's just the media in general,
Right.
Right. So, it's just staying in front of them, educating them, making sure
Yeah.
that you're also setting up those at bats, right? Cold
Yeah.
calling, but also meeting other agents just like Jacob.
Yeah. And I think that's kind of interesting because I feel like hold on, I lost my. So I feel like the referral partner route is a lot bigger in like real estate agents and mortgage lenders and like title agents than it is with financial advisors. And that just makes me a little bit curious as to like, why it is that way, you know? Because I feel like financial advisors actually meet more people and they know when somebody wants to sell a home or buy a home like 3 years ahead of time.
Right.
You know, so I just always find it so curious because I see like mortgage lending firms spending a lot of money on real estate agents for like going to tickets and all this bullshit, right? So,
but that's why, because we're like the headhunters. Like we go out and we get
Find
the
the
fish,
people. Yeah.
and then once we got the fish, we give it to Nico, and he's cooking the fish.
right. But I think like when you think of the numbers that financial advisors have to put up, they like know what pond the fish is in.
Yeah.
And I think like a lot of people sometimes
Exactly.
miss that though.
Mhm.
Because like how often are you networking with financial advisors? Like you run into some, but do you actively like dial on financial advisors? Probably not.
No.
But a financial advisor has to do 25 fact finders a month, which means they have to like sit down and ask a minimum of 25 people everything about their financial plan and what their
Which
fucking
always
goals are.
includes real estate within the first 5 questions.
It always does. What do you want to do in 3 years? Well, I want to buy my first home. I want to buy another home. I want to trade my.
Now you got my mind thinking like, okay,
Right,
let me.
but sometimes you may look at the market and you're like, okay, what is the relationship that can help me now? But if you get in with a good financial advisor that's going to grow his practice,
Right.
he could just funnel all of it
Everything.
to you.
that like even
But
divorce
maybe that's the
attorneys-
trade-off where like a mortgage lender builds the relationship with the financial advisor and educates the financial advisor of when the client is ready. So you do the headhunting for the financial advisors. The financial advisors do the headhunting for you. You do the headhunting for them. And I feel like people miss that.
Definitely. I mean, if somebody
Yeah.
wants to, tap into their equity or pull it out, I can pass that off to a financial advisor that wants to kind of help.
And that's
them
your
deploy that
pitch
money.
to them.
Right.
You know, and then the financial advisor pitch to them is, hey, I can help you with the real estate agents, and then yours. So it's like, which is why I think, even early on, I think we all saw that. That's why I feel, so I was already a financial advisor. You went into real estate, and then it was just like, dude, we're missing the mortgage lender. And it was something you liked too.
Yep.
And it was different than what you were doing. So it was almost like we were planning that a little bit too.
Yeah, we did.
We were like, dude,
It just works
we need
out
a
perfect.
lender.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But dude, no, I think that's really cool. It's always tough to like go from business back to like normal shit because now I'm like just got my mind.
In business mode.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Do you guys ever feel like you'll move to a different city, or you kind of made Denver the home forever? You think?
It's kind of tough. I mean, it's definitely doable, but you got to think about it. Like I built my whole business here. I know everybody here.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to go to New York or California to sell real estate, it's kind of like I had to start over again.
Yeah, yeah, in a place where there's like
Millions of
Yeah.
agents.
Bro, you know what would be cool is like a reality TV show, because that like
Another one.
no, but like one for real. Like,
Yeah.
I know
Like an
another
actual
one.
one,
But
like-
there's not one in Denver, and there's some cool people in Denver, like Hannah, who just got engaged to Grant, my boy Grant, and Hannah's super cool, dude, and she could be on a show. She's hilarious. She cracks me up. So it's like just a team of like real estate agents, or even y'all's team too. But like y'all some roughhousers, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
Be a little explicit if we had our team on there.
yeah, it'd be no, but they crush it too. Do you guys ever feel like you'll dabble in other stuff? Like even for me, doing this podcast
yeah.
has been really cool, just like fun. I feel like we, when we were growing in Denver, especially because it was so early on, like we know, like between us three, we probably know like everybody in Denver. Like everybody's like a call away. Like we got AP coming here, Big Trip. Like those are big names.
Oh,
you know?
Big Trip's coming?
Yeah, Big
Oh,
Trips.
shit.
Well, he should be. He's
Okay.
doing a concert tonight. Should we slide? I don't know how that'd be working, but
You gotta ask the wife. You gotta get permission.
no, I actually don't want to because I got to go to Brazil, bro. I'm going to Brazil.
Oh yeah, let's talk about
on
more
the
about that.
18th. Yeah, so I just got invited to go wrestle to try and make the Olympic team.
Are you in good shape?
Yeah, I mean, I've been
Yeah?
wrestling.
Been training with the big
I'm
boys.
not. Yeah, I've been trailing. I've been training at Genesis with Grant and Archie. That's kind of fun, but like a lot of people, like they're transitioning into fighting. Archie's still like a solid wrestler, and Grant has like solid wrestling background, but like also the other guys, like they just don't react like a wrestler would react in any situation. So it's just like.
So does that give you an upper hand, or?
Oh, it definitely gives me an upper hand in wrestling.
But there's also.
But I can't be smooth.
Mm-hmm.
I can't be like smooth, because for me to be smooth, like I gotta assume that you're gonna react a certain way, and most wrestlers are taught to react a certain way. And when somebody like rolls to their fucking back, I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
Would you
in a wrestling match, like you're an idiot. Just fucking pin you. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
What I've seen in like in the UFC specifically is like the most dominant UFC fighters are wrestlers.
Wrestling is a great base. Like, there's this gym that I went to in Colorado Springs. Again, I'm not going to name names. And I was there because I knew a guy that was one of the coaches. And I roll up, and that guy isn't there, and it's only like the owner of the gym. And he's like, I was like, oh yeah, so-and-so you like lets me come work out. And he was like, no, you can't work out today. I'm like, okay, so should I just, he's like, no, we only let members work out today. I'm like, I'll get a membership. And then he was almost thinking like I wasn't about to get a membership. So that just pissed me off. And then he was like, you can pay month to month, or you could have it on a reoccurring. And the reoccurring was like more expensive or something.
Right.
And I was just like, reoccurring. Because now I'm pissed off. Now it's like, oh, you're going to make me pay for this shit for one practice? Fuck you. I'll pay for a whole year and never come back, you fucking dumb bitch.
Right.
And that's
But it
a
helps
weird
him.
way to
He's
do
not
it.
complaining
I
about
don't
it
give
though.
a fuck, bro. That's chump change. Here you go, you fucking bitch ass. So I'm sitting there, and he's like the black belt of the fucking gym. So I'm just fucking mad, bro. Mad. And then practice starts going, and it's like a live practice, and I'm just fucking everybody up, like every single dude up. There was even a dude who had just won like a jiu-jitsu tournament, and he was coming in there like getting ready to go, and he's all hype. Everybody's hyping him up. And he was late, and he just saw me like fuck this dude up. He was already staring at me, and then he just like didn't practice. He just sat there.
Didn't even.
Yeah, because I think he knew I would go with him at some point. So I'm like livid. And then the last go is with the black belt, right? Like it was just me and him. Nobody else wanted to go. Right. And I fucking destroyed this dude, bro. Just fucking fucked him up. And the whole gym just like kind of stops, and he's just watching me just like fucking destroy this man who owns the gym, who teaches them jujitsu. And I'm just wrestling. But also, with that being said, I'm not disrespecting jujitsu. That's just some shit that happened. But I've like been choked out by like where I tapped.
What was the conversation like after you fucked him up?
No, it wasn't like, it was just like respect. Like he was.
You got residency.
And I wasn't like fucking him up to hurt him. I was just like,
He's like that.
what's up, dude? I know what the fuck I'm doing. Like you would be. My mind was like, oh, you like made me feel small.
Right.
Like, I am by far the best person in this fucking room, maybe even including you. That was my vibe. So like, learn to respect people. And if you would have just listened to what I said, maybe you would have let me practice for free. And I paid you the money, and I'm not coming back. So it's just like a lesson that just keeps on teaching him shit, you know? Like,
you think he's gonna remember that?
If he listens to this
Think
podcast,
if he ever sees me
sees the
again and
podcast.
he's fucking shaking in his boots. No, but like, no disrespect. You know what I'm saying? I felt disrespected, and it wasn't even, and I was just doing my shit. I wasn't like,
Respectfully.
yeah, respectfully, you got sauce, bro. What's up? But I've also been choked out by like people that are lesser than that, you know? So
What's it like getting choked
It's its
out?
own sport. The person who's, MMA fight, like if I tap, they'll let me go. But my coach in college used to like put me out like once a week, twice a week, just choke me the fuck out before practice, and I just see stars and just like. But it's not like if you get punched. I've never been knocked out by a punch. I've definitely had my bell rung hard as fuck before.
Can we talk about?
Well, I have one story that's really crazy, and this is with my buddy. Oh, bro, this story is so dumb. Oh man. So, anyways, before I tell the story, like if you get hit, you like fucking, it kind of like smacks and your bell's rung and you're like, fuck, like I just got rocked. When you get choked out, it's more like you just like freaking go numb.
like you get
Yeah,
suffocated.
you're just like, yeah, Yeah, and I think getting knocked out is like way more dangerous. Getting choked out is just like you kind of run out of breath and you just like, you know, like you're like super sleepy, and then like you just go out and then you come back and you're like, whoa, and then the feeling all comes back to like your arms and shit. When you get your bell stung, I don't think like you go numb. You're more like freaking
concussed.
Yeah, you like fucking harden up, which is weird. But there was this story. So we used to go to Jump Street all the time on teen nights. It was like Thursdays. I think I was going into senior year or something like that. And it was with Horatio Villalpando, if you guys know who that is. And this kid was just talking shit. And at the time, Horatio was like 19 or something. And the kid was like 16, but I was 17. So we're like playing dodgeball and they start talking shit. And this guy's like, you can't touch me. I'm 16. I'm like, okay, I'm 17. I'll fuck you up. And I'm just a wrestler, a fucking idiot. And so we leave Jump Street, and Jump Street is like a trampoline place. And you just like play dodgeball and shit. It was so stupid. So we go and we fight in this park, and I'm just kicking the fuck out of this kid. Basically, I just took him down, got on his back, and just started like wailing on him. And his buddy runs up and just kicks me in the back of the head, bro. And I fucking like fall off the kid, and I just see the kid take off, the one who kicked me. And I like stumbling, I kind of get up and I just run after him, and I just like grabbed him by the shoulders and like just shoved him into the ground. And then we just heard sirens coming, and so Horatio gets into his car, but he forgot that he had reversed or something like that, right? So he thinks he's going backwards. Yeah, he thinks he's going forwards,
and he
goes backwards, hits this car out of the spot, and we just take off. And Horatio's dad is a cop. So somebody reported a hit and run. They pull it up. It's Horatio's dad's license plate. And they thought I was driving. And I was like, bro, you better not tell them I was driving, because I wasn't.
Yeah.
And I don't even think I had my driver's license at the time. So I'm like, bro, don't tell them I was driving, because if it's your dad, you'll get away with it. Like, I don't even have my license. But it wasn't me who was driving, but they thought it was me on how we entered the car. So I don't know.
So did he get swept under the rug because it was his dad?
It wasn't me. You know what I'm saying? Plus, we told some BS story of how people had guns and we were just scared or some shit. So
Horatio was actually my neighbor growing up.
Oh, yeah? On that corner house by the elementary school?
He was there, and then also Ida like lived right next door to me. So
Yeah.
I'd always
Dude. I remember we were there with each other and him one time. Like moving a fish tank or some shit.
I'm sure. Yeah,
I don't know.
You'd always go there and help Ida.
Yeah, dude. That's wild. But anyways, yeah, that was it. What story were you thinking about?
I think it's better when you tell it, just because that punch was like there, and then like I was standing there, and I just remember Jacob was in the bathroom, missed the whole entire thing.
Y'all talking about
Missed the whole entire thing. He was in the bathroom, came out, was like, the heck happened? The whole club is just like bottles spilled everywhere, tables just thrown over.
Dude, so, oh man, what happened that night? So, we met up with these girls that we knew. I think it was like Taylor Fran and all of her friends. And we were just like bar hopping, you know, and we ended up at Onyx. And at the time, Onyx was like Onyx, you know what I'm saying? And we bring them there. And Onyx like lets people buy bottles. You don't need tables. You can just buy the bottle and walk around. And so this like big ass dude, bro, like probably 6'4", like big dude, big black dude, like 275. I don't know. He's fucking huge. Not too big. Your boy's big. Anyways, but I was definitely looking up at him, and he just starts handing this bottle, right? And I'm like a pretty generous person. I let people drink, right? Like you're handing bottles to the girls in our section. I think you're trying to be a homie. You should be smart and let me hit the bottle. That way you can sit with us. I'll let you sit with us, bro. Right. You know, like that's how I am. If you're a cool vibe, like sit down. Why? Because you want girls? Sure. Like these ain't my girls. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, sit down. But I didn't say that. He just passes the bottle. They hand it to me, obviously, because they're sitting in my bottle service. They're already having free drinks, you know? And I go to take a shot, and he looks at me. He's like, hey, you. That's mine. No. So I just stared at him, And then I just took a shot, like a big ass shot. And then I walked back up and just handed it to him. And then your boy's still like financially smart, right? So later on, people are just throwing money and it lands in our section. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna start picking this shit up. So I'm like counting. I have like $37. I'm like, hey, come up. And this dude comes up and he's like, I think you owe me some of that for that bottle. And I was like, huh?
Me and Bruno
Oh,
looked at
no,
each
bro.
other like, what?
That was out of pure disrespect. That's what I said to him. I was like, nah, bro. That was out of pure disrespect. And I just looked at him.
Asking for trouble, but
Fuck him, bro.
Yeah.
And it was.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that? Nah, that was out of pure disrespect. And so I'm back in the section. This guy rolls up in the section and he has his boy with him. Bigger guy, right?
And I'm standing next to
Yeah,
Bruno.
so it's
We're
like
just
me,
okay.
and they're
Like,
pressing me basically, right? And I'm like, Neek. I like literally, when they came up, I'm like, Nico. And
Tap
so
me, yeah.
Nico stands up behind me, right? And then he's basically wanting me to face his man, essentially, right? He brings his fucking boyfriend, and he's like, tell him what you did, basically, right? He didn't sound like that, but what a fucking bitch.
Right.
So I tell him, I explain the entire story, and his friend starts agreeing. He's like,
Yeah, his homie's like, okay, like,
because it
my
makes
homie just
sense.
brought me
Yeah,
over here,
he's
but
like,
I don't
my
even know
homie's
why
just
I'm here.
an idiot.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so then I got mad because you're gonna bring this guy, and this guy ain't tough, bro. Because if
yeah.
you're tough, fuck what this dude's saying, punch me. Fuck what I'm saying, hit me in the face, bro.
Right.
If you're like the tough friend. And I started like looking in his eyes. I'm like, this dude's soft too. So I'm like, oh, bro, this is the guy you bring, bro. This is the guy you're gonna bring to press me. You fucked up, bro. You guys are
can
both
tell.
bitches. And I was like, bro, I get wild sometimes. I was like, you guys are both fucking pussies. So then the dude comes up to me. And he's talking to me. I'm like, bro, what do you want to do? Like, and basically he was like, what's that? And
Points in
fucking
the other direction.
subconsciously, I fucking look. And I'm like, as I look, I'm like, oh, I'm about to get punched in the fucking face when I turn around. So I'm already knowing I'm going to get punched. I'm like, I'm going to just duck it. So I duck it. He like hits me in the top of the head, but he's swinging across. And so let me do this. He's swinging across. I eat the punch, and then I grab his collar. So his hand's here. I grabbed his collar, and then I wrapped around underneath him. So he's punching, collar underneath his leg. Pick this dude up like this, collar.
Lambs him.
Turn him upside down. This fool's legs are up here. His head is here. Bottle service table here. And I just fucking broke the fucking shit. All the liquor.
WWE.
Bro, on the liquor. There's liquor bottles. There's ice. On the, like, everything is on the table. Imagine bottle service. Slam them on it. Everything goes wild.
Drinks
And then-
everywhere, spills everywhere. His
Yes.
homie next to him, while Bruno just like slams this dude on top of the bottle service table. I see his homie come try to swing at me and then slips on the drinks that Bruno just spilled everywhere. And he slips, and then I just jump off of the table and just hit him right in the
And
head.
Jacob's in the bathroom
The whole time.
But dude, I slam him on the table. The guy gets up. He gets up, right? He's trying to come at me, but he's slipping, bro. He's slipping. And
Both slipping. They were both
yes,
just like
but this
on their
dude gets
knees,
slammed,
like trying to
turns
get out.
around. He gets slammed, turns around. He's trying to get out. And I was just like, bet, grabbed the back of his shirt and just started pummeling this guy.
And
At
you
the
had your
time,
ring on.
I had my RMAC championship ring. This shit is fucking fat, bro. And I just teed off on this dude, like uppercuts to the fucking face. Security comes in, grabs both of them, kicks them out. And they're like, oh no, you guys are, Bruno, you guys are good.
And that's when I walk out of the bathroom. Like,
Yeah,
hey,
he's
what's
like,
up,
what
guys?
happened?
And then, yeah, Jacob
And
just
I'm
comes
like,
out
I'm getting pulled
what
away,
happened,
and
dude?
Jacob's like, what the fuck's going on? I'm like, now you're here.
Now you're here, yeah.
Fucking idiot, dude. But then one of their homies came up and they were like, that's pretty cool what you did there, but we don't roll like that. We got fucking all this other shit, like saying basically they're
gonna
kill
shoot
me.
us when we got out.
Yeah, they were waiting
And
for
then
us
we
outside.
see them through the window. Yeah, they're just sitting there, just waiting for the club to close.
Well, guys, I think we had some fun today. We told
Yeah.
some stories. Hopefully, we got all of it on camera. And anything you guys want to say to the people?
No, thanks for having us.
Yeah, dude.
Honestly, on the
It's fun,
Brew
huh?
Nose, look at this. I like that LED light though.
Yeah, dude. It's fun.
Yeah, this is sick.
It's fun.
You have a good setup here.
Now you fuckers gotta actually watch it, all right?
Yeah.
Sweet, guys. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace.
Hey, much love. Much love.